Right then, everything looks good. Let's get started. Hello everyone, my name is Wolfboy, and welcome to Crimes and Punishment, a Sherlock Holmes story. I went British there. Why am I going British? Have it, pretty much. I'm a fan of Sherlock Holmes, and I saw this on Steam, and I decided, screw it, why not? I bought it accidentally, entirely, because I was trying to buy a cool VR painting sim. And I decided, you know what, might as well make a video, so... well, here we go. Are those hieroglyphs? I don't know how to read that. Memory of the Ukrainian Heavenly Hundred. Ah, Sherlock. Ah, shit.
Holmes! Holmes, will you stop that? You are utterly mad.
Where the bloody hell is he trying to aim at?
Stop, Holmes!
Is that you, Watson?
Yes, of course it is. And you almost killed me.
Nonsense. I was aiming for the vases.
Blindfolded?
Watson, quiet, please. I'm trying to concentrate.
Confident step. Clinking handcuffs. Policeman, has to be. Ninth step avoided. Inspector Lestrade, as always.
Ah, Lestrade. What is it this time?
He can see me. Well, here it is, and it's a good one, Mr. Holmes. A gentleman by the name of Peter Carey, also known as Black Peter, has been murdered.
A sailor, most probably.
What happened here?
Oh, Mr. Holmes, how could you?
It's the only exercise I've had all week. A grateful client from Limoges sent me a vase collection this morning. I couldn't think of a better use for it.
You're out of your mind.
I missed 4 out of 10.
Given you were blindfolded, that was very good. Can I have a try?
Why was this
Am
try?
I the only sane one here?
I was about to say.
I suppose that Watson is right, Inspector. A little brain work would be preferable now. Do please tell us more about Black Peter.
Peter Carey, born in 1845 and 50 years old. An ambitious sort, he achieved much success in seal and whale hunting around Scandinavia. Retired in 1884 with a small fortune. He invested his money in a property called Woodman's Lee, near Forest Row in Sussex. It was where he lived for 6 years, and where he was found dead yesterday.
Has the investigation already begun?
Yes and no. In fact, this crime is so mysterious that I would prefer you to join me down there.
Give me half an hour to prepare, Inspector.
Take your time and join me there. I have to go through the yard first. The Merry Men struck again.
What have they done this time?
They robbed a powder reserve. I'll meet you at Woodman's Lee, Mr. Holmes.
I should have Mrs. Hudson here. I also have several appointments that I must keep this afternoon.
I shall go alone then.
So be it. The profile of the victim, Peter Carey, also known as Black Peter, born in 1845, so 50 years old. He's achieved great success in whale hunting in Scandinavia, 1884 of Woodman's Lee. That's it. That's all we know.
This is where I keep my post.
Stabbed on the... Fireplace stone? I don't know exactly what it's called, but I do love the aesthetic.
My archive. I can always consult with it, if needed.
That's what I thought. Any good detective, such as Holmes, would have a collection of old newspapers. And...
My analysis table. It is useful for my work.
Lip syncing isn't bad. What the no. I am not looking at that anymore. Of course. Excuse me, Watson. Of course, Missy Mind.
A map of London and the surrounding area. It could be useful.
I guess we're going to...
I cannot leave yet. I am not finished here.
However do you mean?
Oh, what a mess! What a terrible mess!
I do apologize, Miss Hudson. My aim was quite good.
You go along to Peter Carey's house. Mrs. Hudson and I will take care of the mess you've made here.
Heh. It was merely a test of my own mental abilities. Watson's room. Why do I have it in Watson's room? Where's my room? Because I'm being quite rude. Do I... Yeah.
I cannot leave yet. I am not finished here.
Whatever do you mean by that, Holmes? Because I looked at everything. For the most part. I have my punching bag here. Can I move the telescope? Because I don't want to look at this. Just do not. Thank you, I guess. So, oh, my room. Missed the door. A makeup table. Oh, I see. I see. I have to make sure I'm not noticed. How do I look? Quite a nice effect. Oh, really? I guess this will work. That's what the lock meant. Anyways. Yeah, this is a weird angle. But, that's alright. Now may I leave Holmes? To Woodman's Lee. To the case. The game is afoot. No wait, no, I'm not even close.
Mr. Holmes, I'm over here. Come on.
Yes. I'm coming, Lestrade. Okay, this is much less claustrophobic. With the view and all. Alright, Lestrade, what is it?
Inspector Lestrade, when will you remove my husband's body? It's sacrilegious to leave him here like this.
As soon as we can, Mrs. Carey, I assure you. Allow me to introduce you to Mr. Sherlock Holmes. He's a detective. No doubt you've heard of him. I'll wait for you in front of the cabin, Mr. Holmes.
My condolences, Mrs. Carey.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
Camino. It's Catholic Rosary. Gardening gloves. Wait, those are gardening? Huh. A crescent tilt. And a birdhouse. Go to portrait lit. Portrait complete. Oh. Alright. Everything will become easier? I don't want to ask that yet. Anything unusual?
Madam, can you tell me if you saw or heard anything unusual upon the night of the murder?
At 2 o'clock in the morning, I heard a terrible scream. But I thought nothing of it then. He would scream all the time when he was drunk.
I see.
Do you remember at what time you found your husband's body?
In the morning, at around 7 o'clock, I noticed the cabin door was open. But I didn't go in to take a look, for I knew my husband would not have liked it. At around 10 o'clock, I dared to glance in through the door and... oh dear.
You have indeed suffered a great loss, Mrs. Carey. Nevertheless, I believe it will be less of a burden for you soon.
How so?
Yes. Life with Peter was never easy, but he was still my husband.
I see.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
How did you know about Plymouth? Choose the evidence to confront. I missed that. Pilgrim. I think I'm right.
You undertook a pilgrimage to the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela when you were young. That much is evident from the rosary in your hand. The shortest route for the pilgrim from England to Spain is from Plymouth. I believe that you met Peter Carey as a young sailor there, and you married him soon afterwards.
That is indeed what happened, Mr. Holmes. How extraordinary.
Okay, that was a guess. I won't deny that. What was happened to the...
Can you please tell me what occurred on the evening of the murder?
Well, Peter got drunk in the evening. He was in such a terrible temper. Usually whenever that happened, he'd stay all night drinking in his cabin before passing out.
Did you have any visitors?
Was your husband accustomed to receiving visitors?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I mean, he didn't really have many friends. He lived quite an isolated life here, after his retirement.
Thank you, madam.
I see. Quiet life. Now, evidence. Pilgrimage. This... the profile of the victim. And pilgrimage. Due to unhappy marriage to Peter, she failed religious. That's why I guessed.
Mr. Holmes?
Okay, that's it. Alright then. This is quite a lovely place, I must admit.
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
Very good, I can't step off to anything. Can't vary off the path, that's very good.
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
Stone path. Footprints.
These footprints appear to be quite large.
Kept garden. Capable gardener works here. Unidentified footprints. Left recently in a patch of wet earth at Woodman's Lee. He may have been left by the murderer. Perhaps I could find a pair of boots that would match them. Agreed. Though I do think that the detective here would have noticed it. But it looks like... that was everything. Perhaps. I must check everywhere else, just in case. Nothing else here. Evidence required. I see. So I can connect evidence. Alright, Inspector.
Peter Carey's body is inside the cabin. We took care not to touch anything.
Thank you, Inspector. Inside we go.
The door is locked.
Wait just a moment, Mr. Holmes, and I'll open it. I locked it yesterday to ensure that no one should enter the cabin and tamper with the evidence.
I see.
Ah, good thinking.
Hello, hello, hello.
What is it, Lestrade?
It seems to me that someone has tried to force it, Mr. Holmes.
Let me see.
Interesting.
These scratches are fresh.
Indeed they are.
You're right. Someone tried to force open the door.
I swear these scratches were not here yesterday.
Indeed they
Our
were not.
mysterious visitor came here last night.
Well, he's not the man for the job. This lock is not a difficult one.
Perhaps he did not have the right tool.
Indeed. Agreed. The door scratches. Good lockpick, it's simple. Now, inside we go. Ice. I
What a
say.
terrible way to die.
I must agree with Holmes on this. Bloody hell. Let us examine the body.
The
Look at his
weapon
chest.
fully penetrated the body. The force of the blow was immense.
He isn't kidding. We don't see the end of the spear, because he's attached to it. So about that weird cut. Had to do with some audio differences. Now,
This
let's see
man is in
face.
his 50s, yet he still looks quite strong. Peter Carey was fully dressed. He was not caught by surprise. It is possible that he knew his murderer.
Indeed.
Peter Carey was impaled to the wall by a whaling harpoon. This wooden handle is plain and solid. This blood is from the pool underneath the dead body. Peter Carey tried to defend himself with this knife, but he did not succeed.
No, you did not.
JHN are probably the initials of the owner of this notebook. The pattern of the blood stain indicates that the notebook was not lying on the floor prior to the crime, but it was dropped into the pool of blood after the death of Peter Carey.
Is there no way to open this? Thank you.
These abbreviations mean something, but what? The Sea Unicorn. She was the ship that Peter Carey commanded. Someone drank from this glass recently. The initials PC have been crudely burned. A sailor's work. This aroma is familiar, but to recognize it, I must construct my associations in one picture.
Aha. Oh, I can move these items. Okay. Haha.
Yes, this is a coarse tobacco, quite strong and very popular among sailors. Rum,
Whiskey.
a sailor's drink. It seems that Captain Carey was enjoying a drink before he met his death.
So I may see him. What's this?
This place is not covered with dust, like the rest of the shelf. An object was taken from here. It was larger than a book. A box or a small chest, perhaps. Someone was here yesterday. They attempted to force the door to gain entry. The tooth of a sperm whale, probably from one of Peter Carey's catches.
Indeed he would.
Old navigation instruments, nothing interesting. Peter Carey's boots. They look to be a size 8. The murder weapon was probably taken from this rack. The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain. The ship... Hammerfest. Dundee. It's a whaling map. These boots don't match the footprints.
They do not. But I don't know why I had to manually drag that in order to make that assumption. Of course, I can understand that. Let's check the exterior. Oh, I could go into first person. Oh, this is much nicer. I think I have collected everything in the room.
Well, Mr. Holmes, what do you think?
I think that we are lucky.
And why is that?
Because of last night's attempted break-in.
Oof, you've lost me.
It is very probable that whoever came here hoped to find the door open. They tried to force it with a knife blade, but they failed. What will they do? Why, return tonight, when they will be better prepared.
Aha! So what do you propose?
We shall remain on the outside, near the window, where we stand the best chance of catching sight of our visitor. Well, gentlemen, ready your pistols. We have a long night ahead of us.
Mr. Holmes?
We need to find a good place for an ambush. Perhaps behind Carey's cabin, near the window.
Ah.
This looks like the perfect hiding place.
Did you hear that?
I did. Now would you kindly stop talking?
There's someone there. I'm gonna collar him.
I'll be right behind you.
Police! Hold it right there. All right, my fine fellow. Who are you and what are you doing here?
You're detectives, I suppose. You imagine that I'm connected with the death of Captain Carey. I assure you I'm innocent.
Innocent? And what are you doing in his cabin?
Shall I tell you? You came to retrieve what you had lost after killing Peter Carey, but we were here waiting for you.
What is your name?
John Hopley Nelligan, but I didn't...
Do you deny that you came here yesterday?
No, but yes, it's just that I couldn't...
I'm tired of this. Off we go to the yard. Tomorrow, I'll see that you're put in front of the judge.
No, wait.
What? But you can't! I'm not... It's a terrible mistake!
Enough! You can explain all of...
But...
In light of recent events, it seems evident that your coming here was
You are welcome, Inspector, but please...
Okay, good. We are going to question him, but I feel like you should at least see his line of view. Who knew these things could be double hinged? Ah, here's our man. Mr. Nelligan.
Does this notebook belong to you?
Yes. But where did you find it? I did not know... I thought I'd lost it at the hotel.
What do these abbreviations mean?
Oh, no. I beg you, I can't.
But I will find out eventually, Mr. Nelligan.
Now, before we go any further, let us see what we can learn of the man. His shabby cap. Patches. Calluses on his hands. More scars. Elaborate buttons. Expensive fabric. Ah. A thin neck. Why is that important? Aha. Short sleeves.
The sea knife was found near Carey's body. Tell me, Mr. Nelligan, did Mr. Carey try to defend himself or to attack you with it?
I don't know. I didn't kill anyone.
I mean, I have to agree. This is quite ridiculous.
I will see you soon, young man.
This is
Please, let me go. I'm innocent.
I have to admit, this is quite ridiculous. Why would I immediately assume this is our man? 19 years old? Ah, so he is young. Thought so. Raised in wealth. I had assumed that. Desertion of his father 10 years ago. How did you know that? In his family fell into poverty. He worked to earn money by cleaning fish. Despite undertaking such manual work for a considerable time, Nelligan remains physically weak. That right there should completely remove him from suspicion due to the fact that the harpoon was punctured through the man's chest and to the wall.
I need to stage a reconstruction. I'm sure that Watson would be happy to oblige.
Agreed.
What am I doing here? I've done nothing wrong.
Ah, evidence room. These are where his belongings. I see.
These are the suspect's belongings. The notebook that we found on Peter Carey's cabin floor.
I don't remember that much blood.
These abbreviations mean something. But what?
Don't remember that much blood on the paper.
A pocket knife. It was used to force the door of Peter Carey's cabin.
Yeah, I saw that. From R. Dawson.
From R. Dawson.
To my friend and partner.
1883. To my friend, Dawson. I've seen this name before. Perhaps my archive holds the answer.
To home then, next chance we get.
A handkerchief with the initials JHN.
I guess that's it. Carly. Unusual thief. What is his role in that? Shall I continue investigating on that?
The police seized this valuable ring from you. Whose is it?
I didn't steal it from anyone. It has always belonged to me.
Oh, okay.
The ring's date of engraving is many years ago. You would have been a child then, hardly
That's
in
what I
any
thought.
position to receive such an item from a partner.
It took me many tries, but I got it, I guess. So, who owned the ring?
So, Mr. Nelligan, who is the true owner of the ring?
The ring is mine.
Ah,
No, Mr. Nelligan. I believe
That's
that the
what I
ring
thought.
had belonged to your father.
Oh, but how do you know?
The jacket you are wearing is made of an expensive fabric that only a man of exceptional wealth could afford. You do not seem to me to be a rich man, Mr. Nelligan. Furthermore, the garment is ill-fitting. It is quite clear that it belonged to someone else, most probably your father. With your father gone and taking with him the family's wealth, as a little boy you had to find yourself a manual job, and it was most probably cleaning fish. You cut your hands often while working. I can tell from the scars.
I'm speechless, Mr. Holmes.
Well, I will see you soon, young man.
oh, hello.
Brave Toby. The best nose in the British Empire. A spot of whaling, Watson. Would you care to take part?
Are you serious?
No. But we do need to clarify what happened on the night of Black Peter's murder.
A reenactment, then? Is something bothering you?
The sailor's knife, Watson. Why was it on the floor?
Peter Carey attempted to defend himself?
It is possible. But if that is the case, then it alters many things. Tell me, my friend, what is the animal closest to man, morphologically, I mean?
Ah, I see what you're getting at, Holmes. You asked me that once before. On the Ripper case, I believe. Do you want to slit some more pigs' throats?
No.
Thank goodness for that.
I wish to impale one with a harpoon.
Wonderful.
Watson, let us pay a visit to our butcher friend in Whitechapel.
And the harpoon?
One of the harpoons on the wall of...
So I have to get that. But first, let us examine for the ring. Dawson and Nelligan are bankrupt. Ha! Dawson and Nelson how did I miss that? Dawson Nelligan investment found bankrupt. Nelligan missing. Dawson and Nelligan investment fraud. A regional banking institution based in Cornwall has declared bankruptcy as a result of a heavy loss in its loan portfolio and has accordingly been assigned for liquidation. This was the 23rd largest bank in Britain, and its bankruptcy was the second largest on record. The liquidation of the company is a pure catastrophe for many of Cornwall families. Joshua Nelligan, one of the bankers, has since mysteriously disappeared. He was last seen aboard his yacht preparing for departure to Norway. Nelligan is wanted for both by the police and his creditors.
Here it is.
Indeed.
Now I begin to understand that young man's story, but I am still unclear as to what connects him with the murder. It is time to ask him.
I see. Now,
my archive. I can always consult with it, if needed.
So, to the watch.
I need to take a harpoon with me.
Alright, alright. I'm going to Woodman's Lee.
That should do it. Now I am ready for the experiment. Is this your husband's tobacco pouch?
I'm not sure. It might be, but he hadn't smoked in a very long time.
I see.
The garden is very large and well maintained. Do you employ someone to look after it?
It is true, there is a lot of work, but my husband took care of it himself.
I see.
Your husband's private papers. Do you know where they are?
There was a small tin box, barely larger than a book. He kept his papers there. It should be somewhere in his cabin.
Ah.
Thank you, madam.
For that was what was took. His private papers. That's what is missing. Unless I missed it. I highly doubt it, but I'm going to take one last check. Nothing I've missed. Old photos and the sort. But, other than that, back to the Whitechapel Butcher. Alright, Watson.
Well, here we are in the preparation room. I can't say that I like the...
To indulge myself in a little experiment.
A little experiment?
Stand aside, Watson. This might be dangerous. I am not well practiced in this exercise. Yet.
He's so certain.
Holmes, you should aim for the mark in order to perform the most reliable test.
Yes, yes. Okay. Ha.
The harpoon has struck the body, but with insufficient strength to pierce it straight through.
Same issue.
Holmes, you should try to aim better and throw as hard as you can.
I threw it, but I missed. There we go.
This is the best possible result that I could get. Do you see, Watson? Throwing a harpoon and pinning a man to a wall requires either exceptional strength and training or diabolical luck.
Indeed.
If it was luck, then it was a chance in 1,000 that night.
Well, yes. Let us leave now.
And the harpoon
Right.
with it.
But before we go, I suppose I'll have to pay for all these carcasses you've happily mangled.
Very well, but please hurry.
Very well, please.
Of course.
Mm-hmm, yes. Now. Feat of strength. Requires a master. All the way through the wall. A degree of skill would most likely be necessary to come in cooperation. Has to be a feat of strength, because I'm certain there cannot be a lucky throw. It took us a couple of tries, in fact, to actually get to it. about it. Now. To Scotland Yard. Always ask the man some more questions.
I have heard the story of Dawson and Nelligan, the West Country bankers.
Yes, Joshua Nelligan was my father.
I am aware that it had a bad ending. When the bank failed, it ruined half the families of Cornwall, whereupon Joshua Nelligan disappeared.
My father was under extraordinary pressure. Dawson had retired. I was only 10 years of age at the time, but it was still old enough to feel the shame that befell our family. My father was convinced that he could pay off all his debts if the creditors gave him time. He set sail for Hammerfest in Norway in his small yacht, just a few days before an arrest warrant was issued. He left my mother a list of the securities he was taking. No word was ever heard from him again. We believe that his vessel went down, taking with it everyone and everything on board.
Thank you for the story, Mr. Nelligan. At last, we are making some progress. Interesting. Joshua Nelligan and Peter Carey were both at sea in Norway. There is definitely some connection between Peter Carey and Joshua Nelligan's disappearance.
So let's see.
Locked.
Let's go back to Whitman's Lee. If I'm right, it gives insight into whoever Peter Carey found at sea.
"1883. That's the one I need. This is the crew list of the Sea Unicorn. This is the crew list of the Sea Unicorn.
See there, Henry Shepherd.
Log notes for June. Nothing unusual.
Wind, strong winds, moderate wind, light breeze.
Log notes for July. Nothing special.
Wind, strong wind, moderate wind.
Log notes for August. These pages have been torn away. Canadian Pacific Railway, CPR. A torn piece from a bond certificate. I have seen this abbreviation somewhere very recently. There are 3 ways of discovering what happened in August of 1883 aboard the Sea Unicorn. The first 2 of these will require speaking with a dead man. The last would be to locate vital witnesses, the sailors involved in this whale hunt campaign. Something new, Watson. I have the list of sailors who were aboard the Sea Unicorn. We shall soon learn what happened to Nelligan's father. I have only to find them. Let us hope they are still working at the harbour.
I think that if you pretend you're from Scotland Yard...
I doubt it, Watson. And really, I would prefer that all of this remains quiet for now. But I have another solution. I'll call in the specialist.
And who might they be?
The secret police division of Baker Street.
Ah, you mean young Wiggins and his gang?
Yes. Believe me, you'll receive more useful assistance from these little urchins than from a dozen yard detectives. Those children are everywhere. They see and hear everything, and they are cunning. All they lack is organization. I'll summon them.
How will you do that?
There is always a watch beneath our window. I have only to call him.
Wiggins, could you come upstairs, please?
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
Wiggins, I need you to track down certain people for me. I'll give you a list. You can read, can't you?
Big Oliver from our gang, he can, as his father is the coachman of a famous lawyer.
Fascinating. Here is the list of sailors.
Sailors? Easy! Just gotta look where the rum and the red lights are.
Sorry to trouble you, Mr. Holmes, but the inspector asks that you come to the station as soon as possible.
Thank you. I'll be there shortly.
Mr. Holmes, I'm glad to see you.
As always, what happened?
We have a new suspect, Liam Hurtley. I'm thinking that this case will be resolved very quickly now.
Interesting. Pray tell.
Well, the constable that I left at Woodman's Lee noticed a suspicious individual prowling around during the night.
Do you have him here?
Yes. He refuses to speak with us, but we'll make him talk.
Let us hope so.
Ah, yes, and one more thing. The constable told me that at the time of his arrest, the fellow was writing a letter.
Do you have it?
Of course. It's in the evidence room, at your disposal. Admit that for once, Mr. Holmes, Scotland Yard is a step ahead of you, eh?
Breathtaking. These are the suspect's belongings. The stains are fresh. They can be removed with the proper chemicals. A pen, nothing unusual about it. Liam Hurtley's old boots. They're a size 9.5. Please escort this suspect for interrogation. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I would like to ask you a few questions.
I've already told the police that I've nothing to say. And you're not even part of the police.
Precisely, and considering your situation, it might be wise to speak with someone who is, shall we say, rather more neutral. You are a suspect in a murder case.
I know. Inspector Lestrade told me. It's ridiculous.
Could you at least tell me who you are, and exactly what happened that you should be brought here?
My name is Liam Hurtley. That I can tell you, but you're not getting any more than that.
Well, we shall see. That's all for now. These boots match the footprints exactly. Does the name Liam Hurtley mean anything to you?
No, I don't know anyone by that name.
Thank you, madam.
A new suspect, but this one refuses to talk. This case is more interesting than I first imagined.
I need to prepare a chemical agent that is capable of removing fresh ink. For this purpose, the chemicals from the flasks should be combined in a certain order to perform a chain reaction. First condition, all 7 reagents should be used. Second condition, orange reagent should be the 3rd one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition, colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent. Done. Now I can proceed further. Let us see if the content of this letter sheds a little light upon the mystery. I did as you asked and hid them well. Interesting. How would Hurtley react to this?
What am I doing here? I've done nothing wrong.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation. Tell me, Mr. Hurtley, what were you doing at Woodman's Lee?
Woodman's Lee? I've never been there.
The second pair of boots that you had with you when you were arrested perfectly match the footprints found near the cabin where Peter Carey was murdered.
Footprints? That's your proof? How many men have boots like mine? That doesn't make me a murderer.
Now that your presence at Woodman's Lee has been proven, would you care to explain it?
I don't remember. What would I be doing there anyway?
because you are the gardener at Woodman's Lee.
I'm not. How did you...
I observed your hands. They told me that you work with the earth. Small fragments of plants snagged to your trousers indicate that you were mowing very recently. But the most obvious clue presented itself in the bird embroidered on your handkerchief. A crested tit, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, you got me. Yes, I am a gardener, and I went there to get my tools.
So tell me, Mr. Hurtley, what did you hide?
Hide? What are you talking about?
I did as you asked, and hid them well. Should I continue?
My letter? But the ink? That's impossible.
A touch of chemistry, nothing special.
Well, you're a smart one, but it's nothing. If you want to know, I was referring to my tools. It was to do with my work, see?
I will check that, Mr. Hurtley. That's all for now. Hurtley's stories are false leads, but now I know one thing for certain. I must examine the site where the garden tools are kept at Woodman's Lee. Locked. Madam, we have information that the valuable stolen papers are hidden amongst the garden tools here at Woodman's Lee. We need to find them.
Oh my. Our tools are kept inside the shed that's right behind me. Here is the key to open it.
Thank you, madam. Let's see what could be hidden here. Let us see what is in this box. Bundle of letters in a woman's hand with the Carey family monogram. Hurtley and Mrs. Carey were in a relationship. That is interesting. Madam, I am aware of your affinity with Liam Hurtley.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Mrs. Carey, we found your letters.
My letters? I asked Liam to return them to me. I wanted to burn them.
Why did Mr. Hurtley put them inside the garden shed?
I don't know. I wanted them back, but I couldn't see him, not after what happened.
Well, here they are.
Oh, this is terrible. Terrible. Liam, how could he? After what he has done.
You believe that he killed your husband?
No, I do not know. I do not know. Leave me alone, please.
Thank you, madam. I wonder if Wiggins has managed to find any sailors.
Mr. Holmes, we found the sailors from that list you gave us.
Well done, Wiggins. Let me see. This man is a harpooner, and his initials are PC, the same initials that were found on the tobacco pouch. Wiggins, could you gather some information on one of the sailors that you found? His name is Patrick Cairns.
We found Patrick Cairns.
Good job, Wiggins. Where is he?
He lives in a small furnished dump of a room, but he's always at the Sea Witch pub, where he does arm wrestles for money and drinks.
Excellent. Here is your reward. 2 guineas.
Thank you, sir.
If I wish to speak to Cairns without alarming him, I had better dress as a sailor. Now I can approach Cairns and see if he recognizes the pouch. Hello there. Are you Cairns?
What do you want?
We've heard all about the gambling and arm wrestling here. You seem like the likely sort, and I'm up for it.
I start at 10 shillings.
Suits me.
You were lucky. Come back later, when you can use your arms again.
I'm ready to try again.
Fine, if you want me to take all your money. Well, good for you, I reckon. You're stronger than you look.
I'd like to buy you...
Good winner as well. You're a good type.
Not all that much.
Oh, well. At least you're not as poor as me.
Why do you say poor? You're not working?
I'm a harpooner. But you see, the whalers are rare. They don't pay much. So, as a result, I find myself arm wrestling to pay for my drink.
A harpooner. Interesting. You've had a lot of adventures, I bet.
Ah, of course. It's been a dozen years since I've sailed. I've seen everything. Old Wallace, damn Black Peter, Great Roger. We sailed to the Cape of Good Hope.
Black Peter, you say? I've heard rumors about that one.
He was the worst of them all. He was a liar, and violent too. Swinging those fists of his around. He was a tyrant, and not much of a captain. At least, not as good as Great Roger.
I see. Yes. I was told terrible tales about Black Peter.
But you ain't heard the worst.
Tell me, and let's have another drink.
It was in 1883 that it happened. The August of that year. Peter Carey was captain of the Sea Unicorn, and I was a spare harpooner. We were coming out of the ice pack on our way home. One evening, we saw a little craft that had been blown north. There was only one man on her, and he wasn't a sailor. The crew must have thought that she'd foundered, and they made for the Norwegian coast in the dinghy. I guess they all drowned. We took the man on board.
And who was he?
I dunno. During the crossing, he and the skipper enjoyed some long talks. His baggage was just a tin box.
That's strange enough.
Aye. Even stranger was that on the second night, he disappeared. Nobody knew what happened to him. And of course, nobody could ask Black Peter about it.
You know what happened, don't you?
I do. I saw the skipper tie his heels and push him over the rail in the middle of my watch on that dark night. 2 days before we sighted the Shetland lights.
Black Peter's a murderer.
Aye. Those that know him wouldn't be surprised to hear it. But all this must stay between us. All right?
Of course. Back in a second. I'm off to the Kazi.
I'll be here with my drink.
Here it is. Have you got any tobacco? I've run out of mine.
Nah, I lost my pouch. I don't know where. Wait a minute. What's this?
Oh, is this your tobacco pouch?
Well, oh, it is.
Well, I have to go now. I know a captain who's planning an expedition to Cape Cod. Captain Ahab's his name. He commanded the Pequod. He might need good harpooners. I'll tell him about you.
Maybe. If you like, aye.
I'm done here. It's time to leave. These are the suspect's belongings. I wonder if these are connected. Now we have the proof that Nelligan's papers were indeed here. It seems that they have vanished, however. Please escort this suspect for interrogation. Tell me, Mr. Nelligan, what exactly were you hoping to find inside Peter Carey's cabin?
I was trying to find some information about my father.
I assume you had another purpose.
Yes. I discovered some time ago that a few of the missing securities had reappeared on the London market. You can imagine my amazement. I spent months trying to find them, and at last I discovered that the original seller had been Captain Peter Carey. These papers, they belonged to my family, but I could not find them there.
That's all for now. Well, I will see you soon, young man.
I'm not saying another...
Doesn't make any sense. Unless we could find the tin in his thing. I highly doubt that he murdered him in cold blood. The son was looking for the papers. He's witnessed the murder, so he probably came to visit him, confronted him. Guy was drunk, the wife mentioned that. Now this proves where the tin went. So if the tin was in his thing, then perhaps it would be condemned. But I think it... I found all the clues. There's nothing else that could possibly point to anyone else besides Karen. The papers were stolen. Nelgan was innocent. It was a feat of strength that I am certain got the man. The pouch was there. It was his. Nelgan was just looking for the papers. My question is... Yeah, it has... I don't think it was premeditated.
Good afternoon. I must be at the wrong address. I'd like to speak with a...
No, my name is Sherlock Holmes.
That detective fella? So, you wanted to see me?
That is correct. We need to talk.
About what?
About Black Peter, who was killed in his own hut with a harpoon.
You know, don't you?
Yes.
How?
The tobacco pouch. You recognized it.
Oh, the sailor. It was you. Unbelievable. Well, fine. I confess. But if you really do know everything, you should also know that I didn't want to kill him. He made me do it.
I know. Did you know about this story with the bond certificates? Did you need money?
Yeah. I just wanted him to cough up a little silver. I'm out of work, and I thought maybe he could help me. Well, he refused outright, and he insulted me. I reminded him I knew all about that murder he committed at sea in 1883. Then he got mad when I spoke about his treasure. I barely just had time to throw the harpoon at him before he could jump at me with his knife. You know the truth. What will you do now?
I ask that you return the bond certificates. Keep some of them. You will need them in your exile. It is better that you leave the country for a few years.
And you won't say anything to the police?
I will not say anything as long as you return the money.
Well, I'll do as you ask. But what about Inspector Lestrade?
I will deal with him. Goodbye.
It's good that you asked me to come, Mr. Holmes. We do need to talk.
About what?
What do you mean? Our case, Mr. Holmes. You sent me a message via your little thug.
His name is Wiggins, Inspector.
Telling me that the case is solved. Well, Mr. Holmes, tell me, who is our murderer and where is he?
The morgue.
Eh?
His name is, or rather was, Pablo Coventrao. He was also on the ship with Peter Carey, and he was a harpooner. I'll tell you everything, Inspector, but do calm down. Mrs. Hudson will bring us tea and orange cake.
Orange cake? You're spoiling me, Mr. Holmes. That's my favourite.
Ah, Mr. Holmes. Inspector Lestrade told me that I should thank you for clearing my name. He also said that you were waiting for me here. I came as fast as I could. I cannot thank you enough. It is all because of you that this nightmare is finally over.
I believe that this belongs to you.
My father's securities. Incredible!
It would take far.
Tell me.
Then that may serve as an explanation.
Goodbye, Mr. Holmes.
The man was confirmed drunk. You just wanted to try to put some money in his pocket. He was out of work. The morally right choice is certainly not what Sherlock Holmes does, but I am not Sherlock Holmes. Press yes if you agree with the choice you have made. Sympathizing. A lot of people solve the case in the same way, but about 60%. Nice.
This trip to the countryside will be good for you, Holmes. As your friend and your doctor, I really do recommend that you give yourself a complete change of scene. Fresh air, brisk walks, bird watching, chopping wood.
Sounds intolerable. I mean, certainly it sounds delightful.
But you haven't yet told me who your friend is, the one we're going to visit.
He is a bee lover.
A bee lover? Do you mean that he keeps bees? That must be Mrs. Hudson, bringing the warm cloth that I requested.
There is someone to see you, Mr. Holmes.
I have no time. Send whoever it is away.
Yes, Holmes, I really think we ought to leave now.
Mycroft.
Sherlock.
Oh, Mr. Holmes? Perhaps you don't remember me. I'm Dr. Watson. We met at the Diogenes Club a few years ago. I documented our encounter in a short story I gave the title The Greek Interpreter.
He does remember you, Watson. My brother remembers everything, and that is why he is so valuable to the government.
We're about to depart for the train station.
I know.
You know?
Sherlock, I need your help. There are people who presently threaten both our country and the Crown itself. You must help us with those methods of yours.
Need? Help? Those are not words I would readily associate with you, Mycroft.
I wrote you a letter, but you did not reply. And this is not about politics. It's about people. People similar to those whom you pretend to defend in your petty detective affairs.
Everything is about politics with you, Mycroft. I'm not interested. Have some of your agents, your spies, or worse, undertake this job of yours. You are defending your people, and they have little to do with the people I choose to help, I can assure you.
That's the point. You think exactly as they do.
Who are they?
The Merry Men. He is talking about the Merry Men, a band of idealistic terrorists.
Sherlock, do please think about it. They are planning something diabolical. Your country needs you.
You need me, Mycroft, and you are not the country. Although if your waistline expands very much further...
Mrs. Hudson, tea will not be necessary. Dr. Watson, the train conductor, Mr. Parker, is aware that you will be 7 minutes late. You are in the 4th car. The train will be waiting for you. Sherlock, enjoy your time in Staffordshire. And do, please, at least write to me on your return.
Alright everyone, that's the end of our first case, The Fate of Black Peter. So if you like what I do and want to see more of it, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell button. Anyways, I'll see you all in our next case, Riddle on the Rails. This is Wolf, signing off.